Thanks, Derek and Operative for making this, happen. A lot of work behind, so thank you. I'm Dr. Youssef Abdeli, the CTO and the Chief Engineer of Propulsion System in ZeroAvia. Next step. Yes, we are ZeroAvia is the we talk, later, but it's the first practical zero-emission aviation powertrain. And the first practical, I spent some weeks really to understand in ZeroAvia what does it mean. And the third week, I understand really what the data between the other components. So, and hopefully we'll, through this slide, we will give you, an insight about, ZeroAvia. Next slide. So yeah, I start my my career in France, French citizenship, and worked with first with as a contractor with different companies, with Airbus as well, Toulouse. After that, I spent more than 13 years in Liebherr Aerospace, Toulouse, where I really applied different different knowledge and skill set for the power electronics, electric systems, and application of the hardware in the loop. And Liebherr is the heart of the hardware in the loop and system integration. They are providing a lot of system in aircraft. So all my knowledge came from Liebherr in that sense. After that, I joined magniX, 2 years of propulsion system up to the towards the certification. And we were proud what we did in magniX because we started all the the special condition with the FAA and the application of the hardware in the loop in our process, which is really nice and good. After that, I joined Amazon Premier here in Seattle, working as the principal electrical propulsion system and battery system with the drone and all the stuff. I learned a lot of things there. Afterwards, I joined ZeroAvia for to lead the engineering department. Next slide. ZeroAvia founded by Dr. Valery Miftakov, really hands-on. We appreciate work with this kind of CEO, understanding all the details from from the big to the small things, understand the hardware in the loop, software, hardware, propulsion, hydrogen, and everything. He founded a lot of companies previously, PhD in physics, and the aim is to build the first practical zero emission powertrain for commercial air travel, and targeting hydrogen power to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable aviation. So the company, we are 50 to 60 by the end of the year. Hopefully we go to 100, 120. It's a big growth in the company, and the vision of the company is renewably powered hydrogen electric aviation, and that's what we call the zero emission, right? So it's really bringing from the electrolyzer the hydrogen from the renewable energy, solar, wind, or whatever, and bring that hydrogen to the to the airport and just close the airplane and just we fly. We flew different aircraft so far, and the one we did a lot of tests is the Piper. Why we are doing it? I mean, it's a lot of why hydrogen and why sustainable aviation. As you know, the aviation account over the 12% of total transportation emission, and more will grow, more we double that. And when we go in altitude, the release of at high altitude of aviation emission has 2 to 4 times the impact of the comparable on ground, which is a big issue. And of course, the regulatory worldwide, all continents, FAA, EASA, CAA, Australia and China, and all of them, they are just pushing and making a good support to reduce all the emissions. The solution is to accelerate the world transition, right? To sustainable aviation, and that's where Zero Avia is working and pushing hard, and all the team is supporting this vision where they believe really. Maybe Derek in the powertrain timeline. I don't see the oops. Yeah, so we are working for different segments, starting with we flew the 6 to 10 seats, and we are going by the end of the year to Dorney. We are now working on it, and we are integrating in an aircraft to fly by the end of the year. And after that, a very ambitious but practical integration, and that's why the hardware in the loop is coming behind, and how we are accelerating. In a real world, in terms of aircraft integration stuff, if we don't use all these new technologies, we cannot follow the the planning. You can click in this this stuff, but you can see the paper full hydrogen, which is very, very nice. I myself draw a few cell previously in a car, but see it flying. It's very, very cool, producing the energy in real time. Next slide. What's the I will not explain what Google maybe bring from the hardware in the loop with different people, but from my experience, I was using hardware in the loop since maybe 10 years, right? I really like each word here. I think about each time and hours and minutes spent it maybe in night and day, and even some of the time 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. making some some troubleshooting of some stuff, enhancing a large scope of testing, automatic test cases, and system fault injection, and system fault injection from the product to the system, time to market, development and hardware software integration and verification, development cost and resource optimization, and enhancing requirement verification high level on early stage, even during the proposal, and test complex system. The system are more and more complex, more efficiently increase the reliability, because we can anticipate some different failure mode, and we can update the requirement specification and supplier, and of course support certification process, which is the one of the things where personally I'm pushing some certification test cases or something or whatever to validate them with the hardware in the loop. The other slide. The process, it's as it's is the common. We try to use the hardware in the loop everywhere, right? Yeah, we are trying to use the hardware in the loop everywhere during the process. Not only during the verification, what you can see in the right side, but even during the validation and during even the proposal. We go to the lab, we launch some stuff, the customer is asking for this stuff, can we test it? And we build our proposal, we come back. And that's when the people that are start to use to the hardware in the loop and software, it's easy, right? To use it everywhere, from the aircraft verification to system verification to item verification. Next slide. Hopefully I'm not late. And I want to finish that Zero Avia is really hiring, and growing. HIL engineer, system engineer, power electronics engineer, motor control, mechanical and thermal engineer, program and project management, electronics and cooling and thermal system design, and software engineers. So that's all. Happy to answer any question.
Thank you, Dr. Abdelli. It's cool to see HIL engineers as the top on that list, right?
Absolutely, right.
Of course, cool. Thank you very much.